In this Fish for Fun video, I go fishing with a former student that I had in class during the early 70s at Missouri State University. Richard Mosier was one of the best students that I ever had at the university. And when I found out that he also had a love for fishing, he not only became a favorite student, but also a good friend. We met each other over the years a couple of times, but never could work out a time that we could go fishing. But when I got a call from him a week ago, we set up a trip, and you're going to get to go along with us on this trip today. Richard had a great career when he left the university, as I knew he would, but now he is semi-retired, and he has time to fish a few bass tournaments and to go fishing a lot more often than he did when he was working. So when he called me the other day, I was really thrilled to hear from him, first of all, and then secondly, to get to go with him on a fishing trip. As often happens when you plan trips in advance, the weather is not cooperating. It's supposed to stay in the 30s temperature-wise all day and mist rain, and then about 2 o'clock the heavy rains are supposed to arrive in this area.
That's 6 fish we've had a hold of.
Richard and I fished for over 2 hours, and we had several strikes, but with 6-pound test line, cold hands, and all of the wind and 20 foot of water, we just wasn't getting the hook set, and they kept coming loose. Richard and I decided to make the long run down to the bridge that we had come over. We've both caught a lot of fish there before, and the bridge would provide protection from the rain, and the bank on the north side should reduce the amount of wind we have to fish in.
Smallie.
Hey, now we're starting. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's dark too.
That feels hot.
Pardon?
It feels hot.
It feels hot?
Yeah. Well, I've had 3 strikes here.
It's a good spot.
We're getting some strikes here. We're fishing in 50 to 70 feet of water, and you can barely feel the strikes.
I can't hear you for the cars.
I say you keep that up, I'm gonna have to get my Nedrid box out. Look at all the mess up under the bridge there, Jerry.
Yeah. Better fish here. He got off.
Come on. Well, we know they like the Nedrid.
Richard just caught a nice bass, but with the cold wind and the road traffic, I didn't hear it, so I didn't get a picture of it.
He was way out here, wasn't he?
Yep.
Well, that's a big one.
We had several strikes here in this deep water, but with the wind blowing and the cold and fishing in 50 foot of water, we kept missing our strikes. The rain clouds were looking darker and darker, so we decided to move back up the lake a little bit closer to our takeout place.
Thought maybe you might just come back up.
All of a sudden, the rains came, and away we went again.
Big stuff.
Big time stuff, huh?
Yeah. All right, that's the big time stuff. I'm gonna go back. Here's where we're at. It breaks for about 5 or 10, 15 minutes, then boom.
Oh boy.
So when that breaks, I think we'll make a run for it.
Well, we made a mad dash during the break, but the break wasn't long enough, as you can see. Well, this has been quite a trip. We got a little bit wet, and we sure didn't catch very many fish, but we had a great time chatting and talking about old times and getting up to date with what's happening with our families and making plans to get together again. And speaking of making plans, if you'll hit that notification bell, we're planning to go somewhere and fish for something again next week.